Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Galactic Explorers with myself, Daniella, and the lovely, as always, Miss Dallas. Welcome to the podcast where we, your favorite neighborhood channelers, take you on a joyride through the earthly, spiritual, or everyday topic explored with that galactic perspective. Darling, will you break out the bowl? It's a bowl week.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Where should we go today? It's
Howling
football
banshees in the
Sunday.
background.
Football Sunday. Ooh, animals. Filter, connection, study.
Speaking, well, the howling banshees that you have in your house, I guess.
Right?
Let's go for it.
Hey.
You calm down, kids. Keep it down.
Get off the shed.
Get off the roof. Luckily, I didn't deal with that yet.
But I'm bummed. Animals.
Animals.
Spirit guides.
Yeah.
Filters.
Yeah.
Connectors.
Yeah.
Clearers.
Potentially.
Yeah. Animals. Yeah. They have so many vast what I want to say, for me, animals are even not just dogs and cats, but the ones outside and wild are very, of course, intuitive to lands and
they serve a lot of roles.
They do. I'm trying to, yes, they serve a lot. Can't just pick one. I'm trying to, yes, they serve.
Yeah, they serve a lot of roles. And I think different ones for different people, different sets of those for different people.
Mm-hmm. Where I think it's important to know and pay attention to our wildlife because they share messages more than we don't really still understand. Like we're still learning so much about animals and insects and
everything
that's in our nature that, when weather goes, you can tell the animals know that something's coming on, right? That's their senses. It's like, okay, something's happening.
We were just talking about that the other day, is that the geese here are already coming back up for the winter. It's like they went down maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like they're coming back up. And I'm sure they must be confused as hell with this temperate, like, winter that we had here in particular for us.
Yeah.
So speaking of how the animals know ahead of time, it's like, oh, well, I guess that they're coming back. I guess, I guess we're done here.
Right? Yeah, totally.
It was all right. Spring must be on his way if the geese are coming back. Okie dokes.
Yeah, I started to see a lot more of those too. I'm like, wait, don't you guys just leave? All right,
you just going that way? Okay. Mm-hmm. Just talking about that the other day, like literally 2 days ago.
It's funny.
We noticed them there, and I think we were like, it's when we were taking Nikki. Actually, so it was yesterday. We were taking it. It's like, do it.
Right. They know where they need to be by, however.
Yeah, there's a lot of different theories on how they do it.
Right. Like
electromagnetic.
Yeah.
All kinds of different.
I can't remember. Never mind. Because I can't remember. There was a cool story about a bird that flies, but I can't remember what bird and where country it goes to what country. So just kidding.
Strike that. JK.
But how about let's talk about our house animals.
Oh, absolutely.
My cat, I say clear. She
Yep.
every night before bed, she goes into the kids' room and she literally walks
Checks.
around the whole room and she
Yep.
leaves and leaves. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
every night. And she gets so mad when we have the doors closed at nighttime.
Yep. Got to do a check. Got to keep an eye out. Yep.
So it's very interesting how.
Yeah, my cat's the same way. He likes to do that with us. It's like he comes up, he does a circle around the bed a couple of times, gets a pet in here or two, sits at the edge of the bed for a little while, and then he like toddles on. But
Right.
it's like if you were to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom and then come back in and close the door, he would be at the door being like, hey, why'd you lock that door? What you guys doing in there? What you need some help in there? What's going on? Like,
Right.
He'd want to be able to come do the rounds. Right?
Yeah. It's funny.
And I can see the kitten starting to exhibit stuff like that too. The male kitten, where he's like taking after Buck. It's very interesting.
Yeah. Their roles.
Mm-hmm.
It's and how they like my cat. She's different with each of us. Too. Of like with my husband, she's very like loving and affectionate and talks and just talks and talks and once from her, and it makes him, meows and goes around the house and stuff with them and stuff like that. And then with my kids, she lays with them, she's cool with them,
Relax.
and with me, when I start doing spiritual work, she wants to be in the room, she wants to be around all the time. All the time.
Anytime I do yoga, meditate, Buck, he's got to be like right there in between the legs, right there.
Yeah. Brownie's got to be in the room. So, yeah. And I think too that the filtering of animals, and I've heard this, and I don't know how true it is.
I think so. I think they filter for us, like health-wise.
Yes, I'm about to say like health-wise stuff of if something that we could carry, they filter that for us.
Yeah, definitely heard those stories of like, anywhere from like horses to cats to, things, right, getting sick, or fish repeatedly dying. And, really just not living their full expected lifespans, time after time after time. Either getting cancer over and over again, like pets getting cancer over and over again and dying from it.
Right.
Like that. It was funny. We had a series of like 5 or 6 cats in a row that all left in the same way. So there would just be a night, and they weren't that old. They were 3, 4, 5, maybe max 6. Max. Because some, we adopted at a younger age from the shelter. Some were older already or whatever. So they weren't very old in any way. But they would just come through to everybody in the house one night, sit with them, like in rotation. And then the next day when you'd go to let them out, because they were outdoor cats, because we lived in an area we could actually do that.
Yeah.
And not get them run over so bad. They would just be gone. Like they wouldn't come back in that night with the other cats, because we'd had 2 or 3 at a time at that point.
Wow.
So they all did that. It was crazy. And we noticed the pattern about 3 or 4 of them in, and then a couple of more did it. And I was like, it was crazy. They would
Yeah.
all just do the day, there would be a night, an evening, we all be sitting there in the living room. Because there'd be normally the cat would either just like pretty much just pick somebody for the night and just hang out with them, or a
Yeah.
couple, it's like, but they wouldn't be clearly doing rounds,
Right.
spending almost same amount of time with everybody. And then just like the next day when you let them go out for the day, everybody goes out, after you give them breakfast, they just never come back in. No matter how much you call them, you go to look for them, no sign of them, no sign of a struggle, no, just like,
Right. Just gone. Wow. No. They did
right?
their job. They did their duty.
Yeah, I guess they were like, all right, deuces, we're good. Nice to see y'all. It was good hanging out. God bless. All right, we're good. Who
Right.
knows? But yeah.
So I have a question for you, because we talked about this the other night, me and my husband, of, do you think animals are, I don't want to say they're getting ready to become like a next like human,
I've
or
heard that. I've heard some, yeah, that there's
or
some
do you,
kind of like us, how there's some of us that are ready to go to the next level.
right,
There are some that are just like, that's not what we're doing right now.
right? Because I feel like, like our cats got pretty good. I'm like, I feel like that's a human taking a break. It's a life of like, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have someone just take care of me, and I can sleep all day and
could
play
be.
and be touched when I want to.
Could be. And then I've heard
Thought,
the other theory too,
right, yeah.
that that some of them are, it's like working your way through different levels of consciousnesses. So
Mm-hmm.
certain animals, because like, for instance, not all cats and dogs that exist choose to be owned as pets
Right.
at all. So it's almost like there's something to that cat or dog or bird or reptile, whatever you got, manifesting in that form with the intention of the interaction with the human,
Mm-hmm.
so that it would help prepare it for the next level of phase of whatever cycle it was playing in,
Right.
you know. And I think that a lot of us are doing that same thing
Yes.
in human form, where it's like a lot of us, we're starting to get contact. Not necessarily abduction, but just like contact, psychic contact, visual contact, all kinds of stuff's going on right now. And I think we're doing the exact same thing with them, where it's like we have manifested in a form and in a reality where it's like we are intending to interact with that level of consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
to prepare us for whatever else we're doing next in our cycle.
Right.
I think the pets could be very much doing the same thing.
Oh yeah,
And that's one
totally.
theory.
I think too of having a
One level of it, I guess.
communication with each other.
So again,
Uh,
I'm sorry. My
they
fan is
ha-
like
have
clacking. I can't.
having a communication with each other. Like,
Yeah.
when I see my dog and I look at her, and then I'll start talking in the Stella voice, and it's like it's actually her channeling through me in some sort of way, but being in tune to that, like
Mhm.
I can kind of pick up what she's saying, and she's like, oh, okay, she knows. Or my other cat, or whatever. I think it's an intuitive tool for us to be open,
Mhm.
even though you can hear animals or have that
Mhm.
communication telepathically with our animals, or
Right.
with any animal,
I was
really.
gonna say, yeah, I can do it. Excuse me. Uh, Doing it out with the animals in nature.
Hmm. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
When I'm out like hiking, I'm like,
Yeah.
put my beam out of,
Remember
I'm
when
just
we were in
here.
Hawaii and we were talking with the whales? Do you remember that double breach?
Yeah, that was cool. That was pretty amazing.
Speaking of animals, of talking with animals in the wild, right? Communicating.
Yeah. Yeah. That's neat. It's so, yeah, I've really the past couple of years started to animals see them in a different reflection than just an
Dumb dog,
animal.
right? Dumb dog. It's like unfeeling, like they don't have any kind of feelings. It's like, in a sense, they don't have the same kind of emotional, I think, uh, storyline connections that we do to stuff.
Right.
Like they process emotions differently than we do, but
Of course.
I think that by no means means that they don't have them. So it's like, I mean, yeah, you can abuse a dog and it will still love you, but I mean, like that dog will still always be super head shy. It's like it has been affected if you don't work with it to work it out of that. But it's like, it's interesting to see different people's reactions still with animals.
Yeah.
Talking about bringing them into the, when I was taking Nick into the trainer. Speaking of which, it's like you see how people work with their dogs, and then you see like the trainer guy roll up and how he works with the dog, and it's like,
yeah,
okay, those two are talking. Like you can see it almost,
yeah.
It's like, it's amazing.
It's pretty amazing. It's a way of connecting with another source that's all right here. And they're just not animals that are just wild and they don't know fucking shit. Like they know more than we could ever imagine.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's being compassionate and going,
right.
I'm not the almighty.
But we're a part of that.
We are. Oh, we're totally
a part of it. So I think to ignore the fact that we're a part of it, I think is why a lot of people have those misunderstandings about nature and about animals and about their interaction with them, because they don't understand that they are that too, right?
Yeah. It's just a different form.
Metaphysically, but like,
yeah. Right. So it's different. And it's connecting differently. Excuse me. And being open to that connection, being open to that feeling of connection of, oh, something's wrong with my animal. Like, don't just like, oh, they're fine. Like, you have a feeling that it's
right.
You gotta trust that feeling. And it's the same with your own intuition. If you have a feeling about yourself, you have to trust that feeling. Just knowing where that feeling's coming from. That's all.
Yeah, that was like an interesting conversation back in one of our other podcasts, I think, about talking about being able to tell if the energy is yours or somebody else's. That's that same thing I think that you're talking about. It's like being able to tell whether that energy is yours or the animal's.
Yeah.
Or if you're projecting your energy onto that animal.
Yeah.
Necessarily. Because then you get a lot of people that over anthropomorphize their pets.
Yes.
And that's an interesting thing to witness too. Right?
Yes.
It's like not even in a spiritual sense. It's like almost on a physical level. Physical, mental, logic, like, it's interesting.
Are you meaning like how some people treat their animal like an actual baby? Or child, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it in the sense of like, okay, you just want that connection, and having an animal that doesn't talk back, or you can, like, I get it and I don't get it.
Right.
Like, it's because it's not a child. It's totally different from a human child, I should say, than a baby dog or whatever, or just treating your dog like a baby.
Or the cats even.
Yeah, cats too.
I've seen cats. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty different. That's a whole other world. I don't know if I want to.
I was just thinking about it. It's like, connecting with them, and it's like, it allows you to understand a lot of, potentially what they may be asking you or what they may be feeling. But it's interesting to, I don't know, just the idea came to mind of those people that just overly, it's like they overly dress them up and they overtly do it.
Right.
It was weird. It's weird what came to mind.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't understand. Go, okay. That's
Just
your
drop
thing.
that there for so. I mean, I guess that's they drop that there for. I mean, yeah, you got questions or comments about that one. I guess you could.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more people's because
Yeah,
I'm just like, well, as long as you're not like harming the animal in any
yeah,
sense,
yeah.
there's no harm to it. But if it's a point of where you're causing harm to the animal, if you put it enclosed or you put nail polish on it and maybe the nail polish is not for a dog, or
Right, right.
things like that, or dyeing a dog's hair color appropriately. Like it's an animal. I didn't mean to say that. It's
It's like I get decorating them, but it's like decorate them appropriately with the right stuff so that you don't like chemically harm them and things like
right, like
that.
yeah,
But
you
then
don't
also realize that it's not like that by doing that you're making the animal any more human in its understanding of you or the world or anything like that.
right. Like it's just a fashion statement, and that's
Right.
kind of sad. It's not a toy. It's an actual living being.
Yeah, I mean, I have my own thoughts on it, and it's interesting, yeah, because I've seen like a couple of documentaries about this, the people that do it's like a certain type of dog grooming that's like, and they have competitions and stuff for it, and they dye them and cut different patterns into their, fur, and it's like actual, high end Barbary. But it's just yeah, it's interesting to see. Interesting to see.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
I'm off.
Right. I guess we'll
That's something I could see myself doing, or
yeah.
allowing an animal to take it out of its own like way of form.
It's interesting, yeah.
Because I don't want, like, for me, I want to make sure my animal's comfortable and whatnot. If I need to get it a sweater during the winter time or a rain jacket
Right.
if we go
I've
out
done
for
that.
rain walks,
Yeah.
okay, that's one thing, but it's not to like a fashion statement. It's
Right.
like, what does my animal require where I
Right. All the
live?
time, like a 24-hour dress code, right?
Right. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah, just another frame of mind
Yeah.
or perspective that
Absolutely true.
makes the world go round. I guess.
Strokes for different folks, as they say.
Right. The
One thing I did
animal.
want to ask you, though, is one thing I have wanted to ask you, so we can take a quick pivot left before we leave everyone today, instead of leaving everyone with that super awkward taste in your mouth, right? That one got awkward quick, right? I don't know where they were supposed to go. I don't know. It was weird. Is how do you connect with your animals, in the sense that's like if you were trying to give somebody advice and to what they might practice to be more in tune with their animals or to be able to communicate with them more, what might you advise them that like you do to
Um,
keep your intuition on block at 100, as it were?
right. I think when my animal gives me attention, I tune into them and I'll sit with them and I listen, like, I just kind of, like I say, I go off a conversation, and it's something that I've always done since I was a little kid. Of They'll start, if my cat starts meowing at me, and if she's just, on my bed and she's meowing, I'll sit with her and pet her, and then I just start talking to her. Like I literally will just start having a conversation with her of like, oh, what's going on? And just oh, wow, okay. I sometimes I just it feels like I make it up, but then at the same time, it's like I know there's a communication there
Mhm.
because I'm just talking with my animal. Like I just talk to my animal and I just let the conversation go. I don't plan it out, or, any, like if she's in front of the food bowl, even, oh, you want food? And then, oh, okay, I'll give you, what do you like? This is your favorite kind of food, right? Just I'll talk and just go into a conversation.
Yeah.
That's it, really. And I find it that my
Anything
animal,
telepathic or anything like psychic, meditation, any like that, sitting with them or doing that kind of route?
I mean, I have started to, but it's really like I can just hear her talk in my head. I can hear
Mm,
the animal. I just hear the
mhm,
conversation, and then I
mhm.
reply to it, and then she like will meow back, but then I hear like whatever
Yeah, I
words
get what
that
you mean.
I can come up with. Um, so I really think it's just sitting with your animal, and you can probably totally like if you have a sit down meditation, allow your animal to come in and
Mhm,
just see what happens and kind of be open to that because they might not say anything, they'll just sit there and go to sleep, but that doesn't mean their energy is not connecting with you,
mhm.
or you can connect your energy to that
Absolutely.
animal. And I've started doing that. I connect my energy, or I'll do energy work on them sometimes, and
Yeah.
you can tell they'll just like
Mhm,
roll over,
mhm,
or
mhm.
oh okay, and that's like okay, or they'll like get up and be like I'm like okay,
Okay, we're
okay,
good. Yeah.
no, we're
Mhm.
good, good, and I don't push anything. So it's definitely just vibing with like the energy of just okay, where are we going? Allow the conversation to go, connect or not. I think there's always a connection there we don't see with their energy.
Totally. Some people
um
can though with the auras. That may be
oh
another
yeah,
topic for the bowl
yeah,
if it's not
definitely.
already in there. Something about auras.
Whereas I can always write it in.
There you go. Well, on that note, if there's
Yes.
any comments and questions you have about the episode today, or anything you want to have us add to, make another episode out of, I can totally talk. You know me. Drop it in the comments. We love to hear from you guys. On that note, sit with your animals, hang out with them, explore,
Explore, play
explore what
with
they
it.
have to say, have a listen. Yeah,
Good on you.
awesome. I enjoyed that. Nice and mellow.
It was a chill one.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us for Galactic Explorers. As always, from Dallas and I, we've enjoyed having you here. We love to hear your comments and questions. If you have any topics that you'd like for us to cover, drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all the fun places: Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, Facebook. Yeah.
All of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Mwah. Catch you next time.